Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, do that one. Oh yeah, dip it in some more cheese, man. Oh baby. Oh, eat it. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Welcome to episode number 129 of the BEBC BS Podcast. All right, Coach Wig. Poor guy. Been sick for a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you not been listening to the podcast?
The last one I only got halfway through, and then I had to do something important.
All right, well.
Why are you home? Go time.
Welcome back to the table, Mr. Allen Wright. All the way in from...
Metropolis of Hoyt, Kansas.
Hoyt! What's the football team like in Hoyt, Kansas? Is there a Hoyt High School, or is there...
There's a Royal Valley High School.
Royal Valley?
Yeah, they might be 6-man or something.
Do you go to those games?
Oh, no.
Can you imagine him at one of those games
where he'd be
like one of...
Where's the defense?
He'd be one of 50 people screaming stuff like that. They'd be like, who is this outsider?
Quit throwing the belly screens, you know.
The belly screen.
Sick of the belly screen.
And 6-man.
Up in Holton, the county seat, I went to vote early at the county courthouse, and I saw in the town square the windows were all painted.
Ah.
So they're going to state Holton, the mighty Holton team. I think they're 2A.
So their playoffs are already well underway. Huh?
I think so.
Were the women walking around with their little umbrellas and so forth around the square? That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, it's kind of windy.
Yeah,
Where's he going?
They've got the wide hips.
You think I was going way out there?
They have the wide hips and the boots and the tattoos on their arms. The women up there, they're tough.
Wide hips, boots, and tattoos on
You know what I
I
mean?
don't know how to take that.
It's like you go to a rodeo, and I don't know, what is it about all those women that have
those long rubber. The ones that ride horses?
big hips? They probably use those quite a bit.
Good.
Well, I mean,
They're pretty tough up there.
You turned into the guy who neutered his own goat, so...
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I'll never be the
Did you
same.
use head shears?
I used a California.
Do you have to grab
band.
him and pull?
You have to grab and pull it down, and then
This is not where I thought
wrap
this
the
was going
tube
to go.
around it.
Well, that's today's podcast, ladies and
For
gentlemen.
those of you
We're
wanting
talking country.
goat neutering tips, Alan Wright's your man. There he is. Y'all didn't know that was going to happen this morning, did you?
All right, just to gross everybody out,
Yeah.
and it's still sitting on my counter in my shop.
No way. Mountain oysters?
Yeah, the velvet purse.
No, it's sort.
I wouldn't do this to our thousands of subscribers, but
Do you take them and juggle them in your
I
Let's go.
I will text y'all a picture.
Let's go. They're not marbles.
So for those of you who wonder what our tailgates are like every week, here's the conversation.
It's hours of this.
Oh, no. Fidget. Hands above the table.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go home and... Well, no. Oh,
Well, always wanting some me time.
I think when he starts his own.
Yeah. We're so far through.
Speaking of football,
This is
This is what happens when you beat Prosper for the first time in 3 years. You know? Oh my gosh. 40 or whatever.
I almost
it's been.
lost my Coke on that one.
Oh, Lord have mercy. This should have been a
Cody's
conversation.
like, you guys are so
This is
uncivilized.
what we should have had a
You're not like
conversation
us up in Sherman.
with Coach Wee.
I'm a special message your wife on this one.
I'm dying. Oh, my stomach hurts.
She'd grab you by the ear and go, get over here. She'd just be like,
Never let you out of the house
She'd point at me and
again.
go,
Yeah.
and then she'd look at her like, I'm sorry.
Alan and I were talking when he came in earlier in the week. He said, "Yeah, I got to come up with some story or something to say," and there it was. He didn't even plan on it.
Didn't have to go far.
Oh man, let's try to regroup here. For those of you that don't know, but most of you will, Allen beats Prosper last night in a very good football game. Two pretty good teams.
It was a good game.
22-7. And again, first time since 2020 that Allen has beaten Prosper.
You know what was cool is all the boys when they're coming out of the locker room, it was like, we finally did it. We beat the team that's been our nemesis. And, obviously for us, we're used to, we've seen that. But for these kids that are playing on the team, they've never beaten Prosper, and this is the first time. And that was cool last night. Seeing
offense and defensive lines played lights out. They were just unbelievable.
There was a ton of hype about the Prosper offensive line all week long. And that's all you heard about.
And that's all everybody talked about on the news station, TV stations all week.
And even when we talked to Mike Leslie, who stopped by our tailgate yesterday, that's the one thing he brought up because they got 5 D1 starters or players on
Do they?
line.
Supposedly.
Two star.
All I know is they are what they are. Something just happened and I'm not part of it, but these two are oh, Lord have mercy.
Yo, that's Vernon, by the
Oh,
way.
my God.
What just happened?
We are so gleeful with this win.
We are giddy beyond belief.
Oh, my gosh.
I think that'll be the first question for me.
I got it too.
Swing low, sweet chariot.
That's just...
Oh, my. Hey, how about that football game? There was a football game last night. Let's go back in history.
Allen did to Prosper what Allen does to his goats.
Oh my gosh. That's going to live in infamy. We are going back
Lose subscribers today.
to the
Hell, we made 3 of them.
A ton of them.
all them country boys, maybe. All interesting.
Oh, I like these guys now.
The 129th game in the history of Allen Eagle football. 1973, and we had a listener stop by yesterday, the tailgate, and said, "You know what? Y'all should tell us who the coach is during that time." So, not a bad idea. We looked it up this morning. 1973, Jim Clark. Anybody know Jim Clark?
Did the
Nope.
stadium and playing his name for?
No.
That's John Clark.
Jim John.
It's his brother.
Jimmy John.
John Clark was the
Jersey Mike.
coach in his 3rd year at Allen. Jim Clark, 3rd year at Allen, 1973. They went, or they actually played, I don't know if they went, Van Alstyne, right up 75.
Just up the
I
road.
wonder what 75 was like at that point. Or
It
was there?
It was a 2-lane. It was actually
Like a dirt
It was
trail.
Greenville. Highway 5 was the only way.
Was Central even built? I don't know.
I don't think Central was built that it was Highway 5 was the north-south.
So you went Greenville.
Yeah, because I grew up in Richardson, and once you got past Plano, it was wasn't much.
It wasn't much.
Plano wasn't much back then.
But there was enough for Allen to play Van Alstyne on a Friday night, 1973, and they proceeded to lose to Van Alstyne. 20-13. I'm not looking at that.
Oh, I have to.
20-13 default. That's that. The 129th victory. Well, we go to 1983. The coach was, as everybody knows, this guy, Mr. Ken Purcell.
The hand sanitizer guy?
The hand sanitizer.
Well, let me tell y'all.
129th victory. Ooh, here you go. Dallas. Allen played.
Hey.
Excuse me. 1983, Kim Purcell.
Dallas Madison.
Oh, yeah.
North Dallas 2 weeks ago. Adamson and now Madison. Pretty good game. They beat Madison 36-32 to go to 8-0 on the year. So, congratulations to the 1983 Allen Eagles for a victory. victory in week 8.
Victory.
Just like we had a victory last night in week 8.
So they were playing in the double wide then, right?
Yeah.
73.
That was built in, I thought it was 76.
72.
Someone who knows who was here, Randy Bridges, Jill Bridges, they can answer that question for us. What stadium was in place in 83 or 73?
There was, I was talking, because
83 it had to be
was
double
83
wide.
when there was
but
play.
what we know of was the double wide was 72, and before that they had, I guess the district owned the property that the high school's on, the stadium, and they just built right there on the property where the
I thought it was across from the Baptist church. Remember?
Yeah,
The guy.
Was
the
that where it was?
guy-
'Cause they said-
Oh, I can't remember his name. The guy from Lovejoy.
Joe Bob.
Jim Bob.
Jim Bob.
Jim Bob, Joe Bob, whatever. He was telling us that it was there at that corner
Really?
across from the Baptist church.
Well, I'll tell
on
you what.
Main Street.
Randy Bridges, Jill Bridges, any of you people who grew up in Allen, let's
Set us straight.
set us straight, because we don't want to be presenting
False information. We're
What
not
is it
like
called?
some politician.
Fake news. We want no fake news on this program. We got enough problems. Man, where to start? Great tailgate yesterday.
That was a fun tailgate.
Lots of people stopped by.
A lot of people. It was really
A
good.
ton of coaches. We had Coach McCray. Oh, he spent what?
He's on
30 minutes with us?
Yeah, easy 30 minutes.
He schooled us on offensive line play and how to watch film and what you can pick up
Yeah.
tendencies.
And they said they did pick up some tendencies.
Isn't it cool just to listen to everything those guys do? You know, he said he, watched games for, hundreds of hours and just picking up, okay, what do they do and how do they tip themselves off? And he gave us a lot of info on, okay, here's what we saw and here's what we see and here's what we're going to do to, take advantage of it. And it was really cool.
It was cool. It was, how they broke it down and started looking at, and he said they look at player by player and see if there were tells and so forth. And they said they had figured out some tells on Prosper, looking at film all week. That was cool.
That was cool. He stopped by. Obviously, Wig stopped by. Got some chili. We told him if we saw him
Nice job, by the way.
running to the restroom at halftime, we knew why. During the game, we knew why.
I got to go.
Well, they all wanted just a little bit, like
Yeah.
a half a scoop.
Yeah.
You know?
They weren't taking a lot. Gonzo came by. Hargis came by. Coach Broom came by. It was a
Yesterday was a fun day.
plethora of those guys coming through. Mike Leslie stopped by, and we got to talk to him for a while.
He was great.
Wasn't he there?
Channel 8.
Yeah, from Channel 8, WFA.
He was great. So personable and just, enjoyed being here, and we enjoyed having him.
We got to repeat the story he told us. For those of you that watch Channel 8 News, you know who Cynthia Izaguirre is, who's one of the lead anchors. And Mike said he was sitting at his desk before he left, and she came up to him and said, "Who you got tonight?" And he goes, "I got Allen versus Prosper." And she goes, "I think the Eagles are going to win." Not knowing that Prosper was the Eagles, she was talking about Allen. Mike he just laughed and said, "Well,
That's Cynthia.
that's Cynthia." And so I texted her after I texted her. I messaged her on Twitter last night and said, "I heard you picked the Eagles. Thanks for the support." And she responded back and she goes, "I had a feeling," and put a little eagle on it. It was pretty cool. So that was cool to see. But yeah, Mike was great, and he asked our insights, and we got him to pronounce Micah Ellis's name right. So good for that, because most people call him Micah. But yeah, he was great, and appreciated him stopping by. And we had conversed during the week, so it was cool to see that. Got to speak with Pat Domi a little bit from Channel 5. There were everybody was there last night. That was the game of the night in the area. So it's cool to have everybody out. Good crowd last night. It was
That was one of the fullest sides. Allen's home side was more full than we've seen in a long time.
And kudos to the Prosper guys too, because it took a while, but you looked over there and
They
they
were
had a
full.
pretty
They
good
had quite a few people over there.
pretty good representation from them, and you have to appreciate that because some of the ones you see, when you got 100 people.
Yeah.
And after that interception that we made in the end zone, they started Smiling out of the stadium.
Yeah, they did.
They were done.
Yeah, they were done.
We were like, where are you going? Yeah, come back. It's not over.
Band was over last school period.
Yeah. They were bad parents. So it was I don't know what to describe this game as. It's one of these where last week,
Took care of business.
just before halftime, I think it was 35-7, and I leaned over at Sherry, as I mentioned, and I said,
42.
I'm bored. You know, they're up 35-7,
Yeah.
but I'm just kind of bored. And then they had the Hail Mary, and you're like, oh, you're into the game. I threw popcorn, everything got excited, you know, and it's like, oh.
That was an art.
Yeah.
The way you threw it.
That was just so unexpected. He was like, there's no way they're going to do it again. But they did. But last night, it was like, I was so into it. And it was just, every play was like, oh, you know, you're waiting for example, we held Prosper on their first drive, they punted. And the punt was a little short, and Donnell, you could tell.
Short
There,
arm.
Had a little nerves.
There was one guy coming.
Right at
And
right
if he
his
gets
face.
right by him, he's good. But you could tell it was like he short-armed it, like you said.
He kind
And
of
it got muffed. You're like,
T-Rexed it.
oh, no. And we actually recovered it, which was good.
Be ready for tons of first downs. Michael Lukoski's punt.
But it's just, that's the kind of stuff you're waiting, because you go
It's like
back.
a playoff game.
Yeah. Like,
I
exactly.
mean, it's what it felt like. It was a playoff game. I mean, yeah, there's more than likely the winner of this game wins district, and we haven't had a game like that in a while to where, but you know, last night reminded us all how much fun, you know, we've had over the years and so forth. But, yeah, that was, everything, we were all just like this. Third and, you know, we knock them back third and 6, and we're sitting there going, come on, D. You know, it was, every play meant something.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't punt once.
Well,
They punted 5 times.
if you remember, we told the coaches, they talked about, you know, because we talked about last year when we had 2 special teams. We had a drop punt
Snafus.
and we had a block punt and gave them 14 points.
Yeah.
You're like, you don't want special teams to be in the mix. And so I think Coach McKay was talking about, you know, well, our punter, you know, he's been doing great. I said, we don't want to see the punter. You know,
Their punter was good.
they got a good kicker.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, every one was a pretty spiral and
Yeah.
good distance.
Good hang time, too.
And we didn't see our punter, and you know what? I'm glad we didn't. Not that anything bad would have happened, but that's...
we don't like him personally.
Yeah, but that's...
But we
still
don't like him
Christian about
personally.
it.
No, I'm kidding.
But it's just like every play was so important last night, you know, and even the ones that didn't go the way you wanted. Okay, what's the next one going to be? You know, and you know the roughing, the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Wafer that continue to drive, and the next play they run off a 41-yard touchdown. So it just shows everything that happens really mattered in a game like that.
One
Yeah.
stinking.
And we're not
we're
not assigning responsibility for that play.
Yeah, exactly. We're not resigning.
One stinking
Hey,
play.
I saw Wafer after the game. I said, dude, he's like, I know. You know, he knows. They know. And it's just, it was one of those games where everything mattered. And I think it mattered, I don't know about the rest of y'all, it mattered a lot to me. Because it's just like, I'm tired of this. It's kind of like the South Lake syndrome. You know, you're so tired of losing to a team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, we just got to beat them. We just got to beat them. And when you do, it makes
The jinx has been released
to get
into...
it. And again, I didn't care what the score was. Was it perfect? Was it pretty? By no means. And I think
I didn't expect it to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, there's 2 good defenses.
Yeah.
And I think we listened to somebody on Twitter here a minute ago that was like, you know, I expected Prosper to dominate in the trenches. It was the exact opposite happened. And kudos to those kids.
Mm-hmm.
For stepping up against, you know, especially on the defensive line, you know, stepping up against 4, you know, D1 players, as they're called.
Well, kudos to them because Prosper blitzed on almost every single play,
That's what
and
they
they
do.
picked up the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Or Bricker
ran right through where
Bricker
the
got
goals
rid of
came
it.
from.
Got rid of it really quickly.
Yeah. And we'll ask Coach about this, about what their game plan was on the offensive side, because they seem to want to get to the edge all night long is where they wanted to
They
be.
saw something there.
Yeah, at least on the passing game, it was all east-west.
It almost backfired on the one play.
Yes.
They had a fair amount of success with it, though.
They did, and it was. I'm not going to say it was hit and miss, but it was what I enjoyed about watching that, and we'll get into it, was when those receivers, especially Donnell, who caught. What did he end up with last night? He had over 100 yards, or right at 100. He had 12 receptions last night. But when he would catch it, it was going
among
forward.
boys, yeah.
There wasn't those guys, the running backs, the receivers, it was leaning forward every play.
And what I was really interested to see is right before Prosper called that timeout, and we had 3 receivers split out to the right at one time, and they were in a diamond formation.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see what that play was going to produce. I mean, that was going to have to be a touchdown. There was nobody out there but one guy.
Yeah.
It
was an interesting game plan, and we'll talk about it when we get into the plays, but, long drives. I mean,
95.
95, 28 plays.
10 minutes, 25 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Took a whole quarter.
When was the last time you saw an Allen team do that?
Yeah, that's what Marcus would do to us all the time.
Yeah, my guess if 2 didn't work out that right, did it? 2 plays.
No. There were no 2-play drives last night. It was grinded out, hard, gutty, really good football. I mean, you go back and
Snot-nosed football is what it was.
Yeah. And again, it was the 2 best teams in this district. You kind of expected that. Now, some districts you get the 2 best teams, and it's going to be 65-59. It's going to be that. You weren't going to get that out of that, out of these 2 teams. So, great game for Allen. We can run through. We got a wig here in about 5 minutes, but when you look at the stats, Prosper came in, and we'll repeat this, averaging over 400 yards of offense. And so, Allen averaged over 400 yards of offense as well. So you're like, okay, is that going to be what happens tonight, or are the defenses, which are both pretty good, going to step up and it's going to be something different? And that's what ended up happening. The issue was Allen still got over 400 yards of offense, 410 to be exact.
And who didn't?
Prosper got 155. And I took a picture with 4 minutes left in the game because at 4 minutes, Prosper got the ball back, and I'm like, okay, they're going to let them score or whatever because it's late. And they had 100 and what are they?
38, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 1 and 38.
And they ended up with 155.
Yeah, it was
14 yards? 14 more yards.
something like that. Sorry, guys, I'm losing my place here. There's too many goat pictures on my phone right now.
Nah.
Yeah, they had 138 yards.
Are you my kid?
Well, here's this again. This is with 4 minutes left in the game. Prosper had 138 yards. Allen had 293. Allen ends up with 410, and Prosper ends up with 155.
We rushed for 228 yards.
Something like that.
Well, you know, those running backs have been incredible all year long. I mean, they don't, when they get hit, they don't go down. They just keep driving their legs, and they push 3 or 4 players backwards as they're running.
We'll talk
amazing.
about our play of the game here in a little bit.
Play of the year.
That highlight.
Get off me!
Multiple times.
Now, I'm wondering if James caught that.
Yes, on the kickoff, where Hambric blew up the kid.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
We won't
asked
know. We
him.
won't know till tomorrow late because he's out playing this morning.
He's on the links.
Yeah, you know, Hambric not only as a running back, but Hambric on special teams, he didn't care. And he blew up that kid so bad running down for that. I was just like, Jaden, no mercy, brother. It's just like, unbelievable.
You know,
So-
Coulter also threw an offensive lineman off to the side, just tossed him away like garbage.
You know,
it was funny.
And I don't know.
got that too.
I saw him as we were walking into the locker room last night. He was walking out, so we didn't get a chance to talk to him. But I wonder if he kind of took it personally that all the talk was about Prosper's offensive line and their prospects, and you know, homeboy can play.
Yeah.
You know, and he had he had a personal foul last night. He got a little rambunctious, and there was one time that the play was 20 yards this way, and he's 20 yards back pancaking this guy, and the referee's running over. You're like, finish the play. So you wonder if there was a little bit of that going on. 25 first downs for Allen, 9 for Prosper.
That's incredible.
Isn't that wild? 182 yards passing for Allen. Breaker was 20 of 29, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. On the ball, he just shouldn't have thrown. He threw it late, and he just should have kept that one. Prosper came in with more passing yards than rushing yards, and they throw for 86 yards. You know, and I've never seen a quarterback throw blimp balls deep.
Those balls lift off.
Were so high.
Yeah.
I'm just like, we talked about it at breakfast. Maybe that's worked against some of the lower tier teams in this district, but it wasn't going to work against them because you gave way too much time.
Way too much time for your DB to get over there.
Yeah, and our guys, again, I mentioned this to Leslie too. I said, our team speed's very good. And I said, you're going to loft the ball like that, even if they're beat, they're going to get back there and get that because that thing just hung up there forever.
Oh, my gosh.
And I didn't get a chance to look what their longest pass play of the night was, but when you only throw for 86, it wasn't very much.
Well, their longest pass play of the night was to RDB.
We appreciate
That's
that.
True.
That's true, too.
That's true.
Yeah, that was a heck of a catch.
Yeah, he caught up to it. I didn't think he was going to catch up
No,
to it.
I didn't think so either. Extended the arm.
He did.
He didn't short arm that one.
No.
So 9 of 16 for Braden Imhoff.
Could get him on punt returns.
Yeah. As Nolan said, 228 yards rushing for the Allen Eagles on 40 attempts. Averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Hats off to the defense. 22 rushing attempts, 69 yards for Prosper last night.
You're going to win a lot of football games where you average 6 yards a carry and the other team averages, what was that, 3?
Yeah. Well, just when you hold a team to 155 yards, it means they're not, and we'll talk about what Hargis said here in a little bit about, that. Allen rushing, Mackay had a 100-yard game, 20 carries, 101. Jaden Hambric followed him up with 12 for 88. Those guys in between average 6 yards a carry. Lyndon Spriggs said he came within a centimeter of busting a long run. And again, right on the sidelines, the official said he stepped out of bounds. And I was like, dude, you were so close. He goes, I know. His coaches said it was a centimeter. And he was gone. There wasn't anybody going to catch him, but he had the few times he touched the ball, he was there. Receiving, Donnell, big night, 12 for 100. The freshman, Josiah Johnson, what a tough kid.
Yes.
He's really tough.
He's going to be awesome.
And the operative word is freshman.
Yeah, freshman. So, it is 9:15 in the Far East, which means it's time for us to give Coach Wick a call. See if he's feeling better and how he's feeling today. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hello.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Dude, we are so giddy. It is unbelievable.
Yeah, your coaches were really excited last night, too. We went to the locker room, and, man, they were fired up.
Yeah, they should be. They should be. They, as y'all know, they work incredibly hard and put a ton into everything that they do, and it's fun for them as well.
Well, was it fun for you?
It was. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a beautiful night of football. Just, so many things that stand out. Just love the way the kids battled, played, and I just love that style of football.
Well, you looked at it, and again, everybody talked about this game in the area for the week, and they're talking about, two offenses averaging over 400 yards. They're talking about a Prosper offensive line that has all these quote-unquote D1 players. And the question was it going to be, and you had two good defenses, so the question was going to be, which way was this game going to go? Was it going to be a shootout, or was it going to be something different? And I think you found out pretty quick that it was going to be a slugfest and not a shootout.
Yeah, I don't know who out there was thinking it might be a shootout, but there was no signs that we felt going in that it would be a shootout. You just don't do that against them. They whatever, giving up 64 yards a game rushing, and what they do is so disruptive, but yet, it's a defense that is disruptive but patient, they're in, I'm saying, because they're going to be safe on the back end. They're going to, make you have to work and put long drives together, and then what they do is so disruptive that they're going to get you behind the chains, and then, what happens is you get behind the chains and then you're not able to convert first downs against them. That's the world that they live in, and you just don't big play them very often. So, we thought, I told our guys, I said, if anyone gets to 28, it's over. And I didn't know if anyone could, and obviously nobody did, but I thought that was the magic number, that if you could sneak up to that, you had a shot. But anyway, it was, I think that we were there. We had, had a blocked field goal, had, a couple of mishaps on our part that were close, and then, then getting into the second half, it really turned into just a phenomenal job of ball control to where it shortened the game tremendously. So, take that out of the equation and you say, well, 28 points was probably about what it was going to be anyway. We had you kind of I anticipated that each team would have about 12 possessions, and we had 3 in the second half.
Yep.
So, you have a half of football like that, and you've shortened the game in half, right? So, anyway, I just think it was fun football.
Your offense really picked up on the blitzing last night, Coach, and did a great job doing that, and Bricker got rid of the ball really quick most of the time now, too.
Yeah, you have to bet against them, because, we picked stuff up well, but you're also, you're not going to pick it all up. You're just not, so there's going to be guys running free, and it's, again, we just weren't going to sit back there and click our heels and try to pick them apart for fear of giving up sacks and getting outside the chains, because it's tough to overcome that against them. So, I thought it was a great job by everyone on that side of just sorting through their stuff.
Yeah, we kind of noticed, and you could tell us what game plan is after the fact here now, but you seem, especially in the passing game, wanting to get to the edge real quick.
Yeah, yes, we felt like that, again, in their box, their defensive box is just so hard to gain yards against. You've seen it all year. We've seen it going against them, but I don't know that this wasn't, collectively the best they've been right there. They're playing really well as a defensive box unit, and we will never abort that. We're always gonna scratch and fight because we believe in that aspect of the game, and we're gonna always do everything we can to keep winning that. But we knew that we were going to have to get out on the perimeter, because we felt like when we do that, that's when we can, instead of getting 2 yards over and over, we felt like that's where we had a chance to get 8 or 9. If we can block it up well on the perimeter and then maybe make somebody miss. So that was a huge piece of the game plan, and it was very effective. Again, they're not just going to sit there and take it, and they were scheming and doing some really good things to combat it. But I thought our guys, our little receivers on the perimeter just blocked their tails off and really fought hard to help, again, turn those little 3-yard gains into 4 or 5, which, keep the drives alive.
We've got to talk about your defense. I would tell you, just when Hargis came out and was talking to us, I was actually on the phone, but as he was walking in, I just told him, I said, hold him to 14, and he gave me a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And so you hold him to 7, and 155 yards total offense for those guys, and for a defensive line that was supposed to be, as all the experts said, overmatched. Those guys played lights out last night.
Yeah, they really did. And all of them on the defensive side did. Everybody that played. You go into the game, and they haven't given up many know they're going to try to throw it some, and they need to be able to throw it some to be really effective against us, and they're going to lean on that big offensive line that's done a phenomenal job in pass pro, and the guys just, I mean, they just really, really, really played hard tonight. And they're doing that, and we're getting pressure on them, and we're getting sacks. Well, that doesn't happen if the back end's not locking them down, right? So the back end just did such a good job of taking away things that they were trying to get to, which caused the quarterback to have to hold it a little bit longer, which, you know, they allowed the pressure to get to them, and just the whole thing was just a collective effort, right? I mean, it was just really, really pretty football to me.
Yeah. Do you know how many sacks they ended up with last night?
4.
4. Okay. Yeah, I wrote down is something just to say, and you kind of mentioned it there. I would say their quarterback was really uncomfortable all night, even without the sack pressure. He just seemed to be uncomfortable, and that changes a lot of what can happen in a play.
No question. You know, that to me, that's the key of quarterback, and that's the key of offensive coaches, is how do you make that position feel comfortable?
Yep.
You know, and Prosper makes that tough on a quarterback. I'll say that. You know, and they really, really do. But I thought our guys did it, and when you say that, again, our front did a great job against the run. You know, getting pressure on the quarterback, but the uncomfortableness comes from the back end, and they played really, really, really well last night.
Yeah, what a great pick by Roberson too. That was an amazing catch.
Yeah, it was. You know, and he's a guy that, you know, as a freshman, he can really do anything. But as a freshman, you know, he was a safety for us. And then if you want to get a big pass play, you put him at receiver. So he has great ball skills. You know, and he's one of those you talked to last year. And it's like, what are you going to play? I don't know, offense, defense, wherever, you know, and he has that ability and talent. He's just going to continue to improve. He's still just a baby to the game of football, and but it's starting to click to him, and I think his ceiling is very, very high.
Yeah, you say that the back end play, but you look at all of them, you know, it's when they complete 9 passes, and I meant to, and of course time gets away from me. You know, I don't know what their longest pass play of the night was last night.
It was to us.
It was to us. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sure.
I mean, when you only throw for 86 yards, it's not a lot. And the same thing can be said on the run game. You take away their touchdown run, and they had 28 yards rushing.
Yeah.
No, the first half we played really well defensively, really well. You know, we had the one touchdown play. That was really the play that they got on us in the first half. Yeah. Second half, you know, they started nickel and dime, and you know, they were able to move the ball a little bit, but not complete drives. But then they had it twice. You know.
Yep.
Which that's almost unheard of to me in high school football. You know, so it was. And in that, when they're throwing and they get a shot here, you know, have a nice little pass over on their sideline, get some stuff. But then again, you turn around and follow that up with a pick by Trey. But again, I just can't say enough about the corners. It's about all of that, you know, outside, all of the whole back end just did a great job, like you said, of making it uncomfortable. They closed windows. They took away what they were trying to get to, just caused him to have to think or to reset his feet or to hold it a little bit longer than the pressure got to him. And, you know, just really the way you would draw it up and hope that it would work. And the kids just played their hearts out.
Yeah. You talked about ball control. And have you ever been part of a 28-play drive before?
Well, I thought somebody told me it was a 21-play drive.
Well, that's if you take out the penalties. Yeah, it was only 21. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we have, but that's, you know, that you know, it's really in a game like that when you get it and you know you know, you go in at halftime at 7-7, and we felt like, again, both sides of the ball, you know, we just talked about defensively, we felt like we played so good defensively. I had one play that we didn't. Offensively, we didn't feel like we played good, but we felt like that we were close, and we felt like that there was a lot of meat on the bone that if we just went out there and just cleaned stuff up, we really felt like that we could finish drives against them. And so to go in and be able to put one together like that after going and jumping up, they jumped off sides on the extra points, and we go for 2, making an 8-point game, and then getting it back and putting that drive together at that moment in that game was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, we all thought so too. Yeah. This is one of the games we talked about a little while ago. It was almost playoff game atmosphere that every play you were kind of just
barren.
Yeah, everything mattered. And it was. I don't know how you were, but I was tense all night. I was just wearing myself out being tense, and it was just like
10 years.
For example, here's a great example. We remember last year where we had 2 special team snafus that cost us 14 points, and so Prosper gets the ball first. They punt, and you could see it coming. We have a muff punt. And you're like, oh no, they're going to recover the ball, but it went our way. But it's just like, every play was like that.
Oh, yeah. And that's what, again, y'all know that, and that's what I love, right? It's when I don't love roughing a punt. When every play matters.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah. But it's seriously, it's, these kids don't do what they do, and they don't sacrifice so much and work so hard, not just, again, the week of Prosper, but the whole year, right? December 6th through the end of their season. They don't do all that just because they want to go through, blowing a team out or go through an easy battle. They do it because they want to be in those scenarios. They want to be in a situation where everything matters because that's when it makes it to where that preparation and that work that you put in is what you lean on. And I agree. It was one of those, and that's, again, you can't figure out how games are going to go or any of that, but I hope moving forward that every game is like that because it's so much more fun for a competitor. So, I don't know, fans, maybe they like the big blowouts, but to me it's so much more fun for someone who loves the game of football, just sitting there, like you said, being tense and knowing that this play is the play. Okay, now this play is the play, and that's over and over and over again, and the pressure stays on you as a player, and when you're out there, you know that when you're subbing in, what you're about to do matters, and it's going to impact literally the results of the game. That single rep, that makes it so fun for competitors and to me as a fan as well.
Well, it's also, I thought it helps the team as well too, because let's be honest, the last couple of games have been a little boring.
Well, yeah, and I don't, I hate to say boring, but really, you sit there and it's easy for you to start to get the feeling.
Right.
Look, there's no sense of urgency when I'm going in this play. If I mess up, it's going to affect the outcome of the game, right? So it's boring in that regard. Yes, it can be, but that's what we take a lot of pride in with our preparation and the way we do things. That it's about that. It's about this play, and it's about this rep, and it's never about the opponent. It's never about the score of the game. It's never about the outcome of the game. It's this rep is the rep, and we've really put a lot of emphasis on that, and I think our guys do a great job. Even when you go to a game that would be boring, and you look at it, I think that you still see that they're playing with that same mindset that this rep is the rep, and when you program yourself to do that and you play that way all the time, it's not different playing, Prosper or not Prosper, right? It's just another rep that is the rep, and it's a fun way to attack life too.
Absolutely. You had 3 halfbacks ball out last night. What was going well on the ground yesterday?
Well, it's just, again, against them, it's always going to be tough sledding. Again, I think they're giving up whatever it was, 67, 64, whatever yards per game rushing. So you're not going to just run over them. And I think that, all 3 of our backs kind of bring something different to the game. And it's just, against them, you've got to be patient. You've got to really trust things. You've got to have phenomenal vision. You're going to have to, make some cuts and some moves that prevent negative yardage plays, and then hope that you can get back to a 4-yard gain, and live in that world. And they really all have their own way of doing that, which was neat. And then really, we get into the end of the game where it's just about a put something together. We're backed up. Can we put something together to kind of finish the game off? And I thought that, you know, kind of the play to me that I will remember of this game, and maybe even you say this is kind of the hat rack of who we are as a program right now, would be the play where Jaden Hambric ran one late and
Get off me!
The offensive line fitted up perfectly, which against them is always so hard to do, but fitted up perfectly. There's a guy at point of attack, and he gives him his little move and causes him to miss, and then he stiff arms another one, and then receivers are blocking downfield, and Donnell pancakes the guy, goes to the next guy that's blocking him, and then Hambric, you know, stiff arms him to his back. You know, it was just, and Lyman flying down the field, finishing to try to move the pile. It was just a great team effort following phenomenal defensive team effort of getting the pick and being backed up and being able really just to finish the game. So that's that combination of the pick by Trey, who, again, a sophomore who gets a penalty, right? And and the mindset we were just talking about, every play matters. Well, that's big. That was a big penalty, right? It's like, okay, as a sophomore, do I hang my head? Do I, oh no, I did this, or do I turn around and go make the play of the game defensively? You know, so that back-to-back play is really, really, really going to be a big memory of mine.
Yeah, Hambric's run was our play of the game, and I can tell you, for those who stick around to watch the game as opposed to leaving, the
Bad parents.
The crowd was nuts on that. Everybody just was like, because like you say, so many things happened on that one play, and it was beautiful, and of course it was right in front of us, and we were all about to jump out of the upper deck. We wanted to high five the kid. It was so awesome.
It really was.
So,
it's really, really cool.
One other game question before we get to the picks. What was the ref yelling at you? We heard him all.
He was actually yelling at. It was actually yelling at another coach who took tremendous pride in what his athlete had done on the play. But that's how he coaches the player to play. So what it was simple was is they called us on really blocking after the whistle, blocking after the touchdown.
Okay.
And then their guy retaliating.
Right.
And the guy, when he was telling me, he said, hey, he's got y'all with this or that. And they were, I love this crew. I think they're a phenomenal crew. And the guy on our sideline and said, hey, can you ask him what he did? And he, they just talk on mics, right? So he's talking calmly on the mic to his guy who's telling me. And then we had a guy that was just getting incredibly excited about the block that occurred. And he was simply saying in his own way of, that's how we coach it. That's not a bill. That's how we coach it. It was fun. He yelled back to our coach was, then you just got to stop coaching it that way. Clever and accurate. If you're going to call that penalty, then look, if that's how you're coaching, change it, or I'm going to call it again.
That is funny. That is funny. Okay.
Well, before you do any picks, one question. This might be for Cheney. I don't know. Did y'all have to get any FAA clearance for the quarterback's passes prior to the game?
No, we did not.
Okay, just checking.
Deep balls.
Yeah.
When they reach our eye level in the upper deck, there's something going on there.
And float there for a few seconds.
Yeah, crazy. All right, you're one game behind Mr. Chris Cumnock for the lead. So let's see what you can do this week.
Big bucks.
Yeah. Chris, when I sent Chris the picks this week, he goes, there is $1,000 prize for first place, right? I was like,
Yeah.
I said, if you're paying it.
That's right. That's
Okay, pretty good games this week. First one is Notre Dame at Navy. Undefeated Navy.
Yeah. And that probably will be a good game, but I would have to think that Notre Dame wins the game.
Got it? Okay. The Big 12 conference game, BYU goes to UCF.
Yeah, that's one that probably could have some big-time bearings on the outcome of the conference. And I am going to go with UCF.
All right. A Big 10 battle, of a one-loss Illinois at Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you really on this year, when you look at everybody that's kind of made their way to the top, and then you see them stumble, you would think that this is the time that's about to happen. But I won't fall into that trap. Oregon will win.
All right. Here's actually a really big important game in the SEC. LSU is at A&M.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun game to be at too. Man, I just don't know if A&M is quite real enough yet. I'm going with A&M though. I don't know. There's something sneaky about them, I think.
And then the last is a rebound game. Top 25 teams. Texas, off their loss to Georgia, goes to Vandy.
Yeah, I'll take Texas.
Boy, that was quick.
Yeah.
All right. Got him down. All right, next week, McKinney Boyd. Let's just not forget that the season isn't over. I know you guys
It's
won't.
easy for us because this wasn't, you know, as you mentioned at the start of this, that this was a game that everyone kind of looked at and said, you know, two teams that do this on offense and this on defense, or people want to come see it thinking it was going to be a big game, or maybe it circled it on the schedule. It was never circled on our schedule. This was no bigger or different game than you know, Plano or Plano West or McKinney or anything. You know, this is a district opponent that for us it's about how do we find a way to get in the playoffs and be playing our best ball when it matters. So there was no part that this was building to a pinnacle of a Prosper game. So you're not going to have to worry about what you see out of these kids. If you were to show up this morning, show up Monday, show up Friday night, it was business as usual. And just again, in a game to where every rep truly affected the outcome of the game, as opposed to the kids continue to play like that. But this was one where it mattered, but it was not. This was not anything different or seizing exclamation point of or relief of finally beating Prosper. Any of that to be quite honest, just simply was not part of it. It was just a great game that we're excited to come out on top of it and have a burning desire to continue to improve and fix the things that we didn't do well.
Well, you got 2 games left in the regular season, and we look forward to Friday night. Well, I guess we go back to McKinney Friday night.
Yes.
Um,
The crown jewel.
What you call it? The
Crown stool.
The crown stool of Texas high football. Yeah. We have names for all the stadiums, but
Yeah.
Coach, we appreciate your time and congratulations on a big win for for the kids and for the coaches, and thank you for doing it for us too, because we've all had a better day.
Well, yeah, we all enjoy your weekend, and thank you guys, and again, thanks for the support of the kids. You know, they always love seeing y'all and the coaches as well.
You bet. Thank you,
enjoy
Coach.
your weekend, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, goodbye.
What a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a coach speak.
It was boring.
Yeah, whatever. I thought it was interesting to get his take on Hambric's run. I thought
That was awesome.
that was cool.
And we didn't even have to ask for it.
Well, and again, he's seen the tape, so and I missed Donnell pancaking somebody and then going to the second. I knew there were receivers walking up there, but that'd be something. I bit my tongue.
Oh, I hate that.
Ow!
We were too busy watching him throw everybody down and stuff to see anything downfield.
So,
James will have the highlight of that. Well, in fact, it's out there. But yeah, just James will have a close up of it, and just like you said, he made a juke at the line of scrimmage, and then he stiff armed a dude, and then he stiff armed another one. It was violent.
Yeah, shoved him to the ground.
Yeah, and for those of you who missed it, and I know James will have this highlight too. Hambric plays on special teams, and on the kickoff, after we scored the first touchdown, he came down and he absolutely blew up, and then just kept going. A Prosper kid, and actually like, James, you've got to show that, because Hambric is just violent.
How embarrassing for that Prosper kid to get up off the turf and have to walk.
Was that 29?
I think it was.
29. He had a lot of.
Oh my gosh.
He
Or be the parents up in the stands and go,
Everyone's looking at you. Isn't that your kid?
Yeah.
That's when they were headed for
They
the
changed
exit.
jerseys.
Oh, dude. Unbelievable. I mean, we can run through this pretty quick because it's not going to take long. There weren't that many possessions, you know. Gets the ball first, ends up punting. That's when we had the muff punt, which we did recover. Allen goes 11 plays, 72 yards, gets down to the 12-yard line, lines up for a field goal. It was blocked. We talked to Ethan Bowman after the game, and he came out there and that wasn't my fault.
He was fired up.
He was. You know, he said that our lineman blocked down, but whoever this kid was, I didn't know.
He said he was
Hopped
like
over,
6'9".
didn't he?
He said he was 6'9" and he jumped and he blocked it, and so you're just like,
I didn't see a 6'9" kid on that day.
okay, you avoided a muff punt, and now you got a blocked field goal, and you're just like, again, you talked about every play mattering.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh. Prosper gets the ball back. They have 7 plays. They go 4 yards. It's a couple. They did get 1 first down, but then they had some losses, and they punt again. Allen goes 7 plays, 72 yards, and Mekhi Ellis busts one from 35 yards. The vision of these running backs is just amazing because, like he said, it was, they run everything pretty much unless it's a, jet sweep or something between the tackles. And there's just a lot of bodies in there. And these guys somehow avoid them. And tough running. And he came 35 yards, went to the corner of the end zone. I guess he got in. I thought he was out, like at the 1.
Yeah, that was
He must have reached it across the pile.
Yeah, kind of like the pass interference penalty that they got that wasn't pass interference.
yeah.
And you and I are like going, I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take it. But Allen goes up 7-0. Prosper gets the ball back, goes 5 plays, 1 yard. There's a pattern happening here.
Yeah.
To end the first quarter, Allen gets the ball, goes 11 plays, 58 yards. They get down to 12 again. And I turned, I think it was you or you, and I'm like, it's 4th and 4. I'm like, take the points. Take the points. Because points in this game to me were very important. Will they go for it?
Yeah, they're few and far between.
Yeah. And you heard Coach say.
Yeah, if 28 points wins, you feel like you've already had one blocked. Now you're going for it on 4th.
You're giving up to me because you're going to fix that. Whatever happened on that block field goal attempt, you're going to fix it.
Right.
Hopefully. Get your 3 and get on down the road. Well, they missed it, or they missed the 4th down play. And Prosper goes 9 plays, 88 yards, and their only big play of the night.
Stupid play.
One stinking play.
And again, I told Coach, I talked to Hargis, and after the game, I
Defensive
texted him.
coordinator.
I said, "Thank you for holding them to 7." He goes, "1 play," and then he goes, "1 stupid play." that cost the Eagles 7, or they had to shut out. Because if you think about it, Prosper was not close the rest of the night.
Yeah.
They barely got
That was
across
it.
midfield the rest of the game.
Yeah, they were playing between the 40s.
Yeah, and so a 41-yard touchdown run makes it 7-7. You go to halftime at 7-7. Allen comes out, and again, possessions are just few and far between. Let me get to halftime here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. End of quarter. Here we go. Allen gets the ball first after halftime. They go 12 plays, 88 yards. Just grinding down the field. Grinding,
How much
grinding,
time
grinding.
off on that?
That was only a little over 3 minutes. The time remaining was 8:09, so 3 minutes 51 seconds. Lyndon Spriggs goes in from 4 yards out. Prosper's offsides on the extra point, so they go for the 2-point conversion.
You and I were like going,
They were
you can't go backwards, you can't go backwards, you can't go backwards.
They were offsides more than they got called.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Kickoffs. You know,
Lining up.
Yeah.
That 2-point conversion play was a jet sweep toss to Josiah Johnson, and again, it was right in front of us. And you always hate to see a runner hitting back in the backfield, and you're like, oh no, please don't run backwards, because it's never going to happen. But his speed got into the corner, and he got around it.
He got around it.
And scores, makes it 15-7. You're like, okay, additional pressure on the Prosper here, because now they've got to get a 2-point conversion.
Right.
They get the ball. Prosper does, goes 11 plays, 30 yards, and they punt. And this was with 3 minutes and 34 seconds left in the third quarter. Allen takes over. And again, he heard 21 plays. It was, 28 plays, including the penalties that were overcome in that.
They've got some time clock management stuff in it too. It's 21.
Yeah. Either way, it was a long drive. Because it was a 10-minute, almost 11-minute drive.
Well, and this one's got their stupid penalty of the night in there, does it not?
Oh, the Prosper penalty of the night?
Prosper penalty.
Yeah. And it keeps the drive alive.
It's just a reminder, don't flash guns.
Yeah, there was.
Let's talk about that so people watching.
Yeah, there was an incomplete pass.
Right next to our sideline.
And the Prosper player
Raises his shirt.
Lifts up his shirt to show off the spiral.
Like this.
Yep. And the ref caught it. And Cody, we're like, what happened? And Cody,
I had no idea what happened.
I didn't either.
For those of you who don't know what happened on that play, evidently in college football, especially, you said they're really cutting down on that, because when you lift your shirt like that, it's showing
off your firearm.
Yeah, and that's a penalty. And he got caught.
And then he looked at the ref like, what?
Yeah. So good for the ref for catching it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I had no idea.
You got to nip
like,
that crap in the bud.
so Allen scores to go up on a 4-yard sweep by Donnell, and kick the extra point, make it 22-7. And Prosper tries to throw a deep ball, as we all talked about with Coach, intercepted by Trey Roberson, 3-yard line. What a great catch over his head.
I didn't think he was going to catch up.
No.
He did.
It was awesome. So you're at your 3, you hand off to Hambric, and our play of the game, that run, which we'll have the highlight of, just broke it open, and he rushes down to the Prosper 49, and from that the Eagles just run out the clock. They win 22-7 to move to 8-0 on the year, 6-0 in district play. Obviously, they've clinched the playoff spot.
We pretty much clinched district too.
Yes,
Unless craziness happens.
Prosper could still win district if Allen loses the last 2 games. So they haven't clinched the district title yet. Hey, I'm just saying, stranger things have happened. Allen's 6-0 in district, Prosper's 5-1, Plano East 4-2, McKinney 4-2. So around the district last night, McKinney beats McKinney Boyd 27-0. In the battle of the cellar dwellers, Princeton comes back and beats Plano West 35-28. And probably the game that surprised me the most, Plano beats Plano East 34-24. Didn't see that coming. Professor Diggs did not see that coming. We checked on our little buddy last night to make sure he was okay. We did a wellness check on him, and he said to send a care package. He had a rough night. So
Send him some Plano swag.
yeah, exactly. Right now, your 4 playoff teams, you really can't tell because Plano's played one more game than everybody else. It's funny, they're off weeks coming week 9. Isn't that crazy?
Long off season there.
Allen's 6-0, Prosper 5-1. Plano East and McKinney are both 4-2. Plano East has probably got a win out to make a playoff. Given what I don't know who Plano has left on their schedule, they've only got one game left, but they're 4-3. And if they win at 5-3, and Plano East loses to Allen, which would put them at 5-3, Plano would get in over Plano East.
Right.
Wow.
Which is
Unbelievable.
not what we expected.
No. McKinney's at 4-2. They'll probably get in. So Allen and one of the Plano schools will be your D1 reps, and then Prosper and McKinney look like they're going to be your D2 reps. Now again,
They have Rock Hill left.
Rock Hill. Rock Hill holds their own destiny. They're at 3-3 in district. If they win out, I think they will be in. So Boyd, Princeton, and Plano West are all out of the playoffs. Boyd is 1-5 in district. Princeton 1-5, and Plano West 0-7. So,
But the cheerleaders are good.
the cheerleaders at Plano West are great. When you look over at 6-6A or 5-6A, you pretty much decided your top three. Coppell, Geyer, and Louisville are going to be in the playoffs, and then there's a battle between Hebron, Flower Mound, and Flower Mound Marcus for the 4th spot. It's sure looking like another Louisville game. 3 years in a row. Like, really? But the difference here would be Allen will get a home game.
Yeah.
Which would be fantastic to have another home game. So next week, McKinney Boyd at the Crown Stool. The Texas high school football coach got a kick out of that.
He did good. He liked that more than I thought he would.
Hey, at his age, a stool is a good thing. Anytime. Just saying. Hey.
We start with nads and end with stool.
Our players of the game on offense, we picked Hambric. On defense, we selected the 2 tackles. That's just what totally played.
Bryant?
Chandler Bryant and Devin Pullman. We didn't pick a special teams guy this week because there was nothing special about those groups.
No, there was plenty that was special. They put the special at special teams this week.
So, anyhow, that was that. Thanks for everybody. Oh, we got to end with this. Our buddy Randy Bridges. For those of you who have not seen the Tuffy Tune for this week, and we knew nothing about this what was happening, but
About 5:30 yesterday morning.
Randy threw out one of the all-time classics for us, anyways. If you look at it, he put the old coach and he put Allen Eagle Nation, and he threw out a shout-out to us. And then he created Roman characters for the Balding Eagles, and if you look up there, there's David, and he's got a Texas Tech tattoo on his arm because he went to Tech, and James is there, and he's got all the armor on, and he's got his camera coming out his head. It was really funny. Nolan is dressed up all in armor with a little Razorback thing on it.
Both shoulders.
It's just like, look at him. Cody's in there with his enthusiasm. And that Randy said, everybody thought I was Julius Caesar. He actually said it was supposed to be Nero. I was like, Nero? That was a bad guy.
He's giving the thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed
Glad
being
you
in that, whatever.
Come to more games.
Well, typically you'd have to live in Allen.
You moved, dude. You moved. Randy said he thought about you.
And that's all that counts.
So a great classic, which we will put up on the wall here as soon as he can get it printed for us. That'd be great. So really cool Tuffy Tune from Randy. So thank you, Randy. We appreciate that. And anything else, fellas? Alan, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Always great when you're in town.
Hopefully I'll be back for another.
Well, the playoffs are right around the corner, sir. So, make yourself at home.
I'll just have to find out if they do this Friday night or Saturday.
Yeah. It'll be Friday night, the first one for sure. After that, it's always questionable. So congrats again to the Eagles, knocking off Prosper 22-7. Next week at McKinney Boyd. We'll probably see a little more scoring next week, at least from the Allen side, and we'll go from there. So until next time, it's over and we are out. Peace.